Oh. Keep the jab. Keep the jab. I will take the straw out this time. Alright. Happy Turkey Day, everybody. Should I stand? This thing's pretty high. Pretty stable, too. Alright. I can stand. Y'all can see all of them. Y'all can see the fat guy. See, when I sit down, you just see my head. It makes me look fat. Because I have a fat face. But I'm in shape. Now, part 2 of that Mayweather interview is out. It's in the link, so you can read it in case those like, what? There was a 2? And I got a lot of questions sent to the inbox, and most of it was about Sergio Martinez. Again, like I said in part 1, Sergio Martinez is not the main issue right now. They're trying to make the fight that everybody wants to see, Pacquiao. So that's the focus. We want to try to get Pacquiao in here, so why talk about other fighters? Okay, so that's why you're not seeing any other fighter being mentioned and named. To the one guy said that, no, I'm not on Floyd's payroll. I wish. But no, I'm not on Floyd's payroll. Nate Jones don't pay me. And the other guy said I was bashing him, bashing journalism. That the questions I had was like pretty much bashing Manny Pacquiao. He didn't like the question when I said, well, you know, he didn't fight the best guys at these weight classes, and they're facts. I'm sorry, that's facts. He didn't beat the best guys at 135. Nah, he didn't. He didn't beat the best guy at 135. We know that. And you said Ricky Hatton was the best fighter at 140? Well, obviously, the best fighter is when he lost to Floyd. He went back to 140. Ricky Hatton wasn't even the number 1 140 at that time. It was Tim Bradley and Devin Alexander were the top fighters there at 140 pounds. I mean, they knew. Ricky Hatton was just a name at that point. The best fighter at welterweight wasn't Miguel Cotto. At the time, it was Shane Mosley. He didn't fight him. It was too dangerous of a fight for him, they thought. Floyd came back to beat him and became number 1, and then they wanted to fight him. And 154, do we even need to mention that? Come on. And what's his name? J-Rowe. Your question about the Mayweather Foundation, you heard that they were embezzling money from somewhere, and I mean, I don't know, but why is it always when an athlete has a foundation that's doing something for people, people want to bash that? If they're giving out free turkeys and free toys, what are you doing? I mean, they're doing something. So I don't care, like, about all that other stuff. I don't even know what goes on behind the scenes or if anything's going on at all. All I know is that they give people money, they give people food. That's all that needs to be done. Shoot, some people could be scum of the earth, but if they give them food and charity and they help, at least they doing something. And the other guy, why you always bashing Al Heyman? This other guy, he always blamed Al Heyman. Even on most of these journalist sites, they bash Al Heyman. But like JJ was saying yesterday, you don't hear a lot of these guys talking about some of the things he's done positively in the sport as far as helping his fighters becoming financially stable. Now, that's a very important factor that stands out for any fight. You know, we've seen fighters that were great in the past, and we're looking at them now like, what happened? You had all this money. I understand fighters make mistakes, but he's giving them an outlet to say, these are options you have with the money you have. He helps them get the best deals possible in the sport. Now, as far as matchmaking and fights, you know, I don't know about this fighter development, or if they have someone else that matches up the fights. Some of the more fights can be competitive for some of his younger guys, but they do ask so much of Al Heyman fighters that they don't, and everybody else get allowances for. He's not the only guy doing this in the sport. There's other guys doing this in the sport. You know, where are their track records? Why is Al Heyman's name always mentioned? Is it because he works with Floyd? Is it because Bob Arum hates his guts? Because he's helping fighters get paid. They turned against Murad Muhammad because he was helping fighters get paid. Bob Arum fighters all wanted Murad Muhammad to be their promoter because he was making sure they got paid. They weren't getting anything. They were on pay-per-view. Bob Arum was paying them chump change. They were getting less than $1 million for fights, and he's keeping all the overhead. He was making tons of money off them, and they were getting nothing in return. Murad Muhammad promoted the fight, and Eric Morales wanted to leave him. Juan Manuel Marquez wanted to leave him, and they got him out of the business. So that just shows you right there the politics and behind the scenes of what happens when people set an agenda and they use mainstream media to get their point across and brainwash the public. Because you probably heard it somewhere on ESPN or one of these biased journalists that has agenda. They get their propaganda views towards whatever they're pushing. I mean, I'm not mad at you. Get your money. But you just got to be aware of what you're doing. What else is going on in that interview that they had a question for? Let me see. Those ones I knew off the top of my head. Floyd Mayweather seemed to be avoiding the questions. He's ducking the question. He's ducking Pacquiao. Okay. This is somebody else who's unenlightened and doesn't understand what's going on in the sport. When you ask questions, sometimes you got to understand the man's in a lawsuit. Okay, so some of the questions he may not felt comfortable answering like that because he's in a lawsuit. You know, it's so much you could say when someone else is suing you. You don't want them to come back and use it. You don't want them to come back and use it against you. So, you want to make sure everything you say is clean because you don't know what they're going to put on record or what they're going to withhold. So you say, okay, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that. Certain things I had to withhold because, I wanted to make sure that, I'll protect his best interest. And make sure, he got a lawsuit. That's serious. And on that note, I want to say thanks to everybody who made that interview happen again. Nate and Floyd for doing what they did. You can follow me on Facebook. I am Kevin Davis. On Twitter, I'm Karceno. If you type Karceno on Facebook, you'll get me. And you can follow the videos. You can read all the interviews on BoxingSocialist.com. You already know this. You can click the link and see the Part 2 interview. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I got money on the football game. I'm rooting for Detroit to pull off the upset. Let's go, D.